Hello friends, welcome to the new edition of GEMS video. This time the presentation is in the form of a lecture, and this is meant especially for those doctors treating diabetes and for researchers. This is on artificial pancreas, an update on closed loop systems in the management of type 1 and brittle type 2 diabetes, slowly marching towards full automation. These are my disclosures. Ever since insulin was discovered, ever since the discovery of insulin pumps, man had a dream on when are these systems going to be fully automated. Will this dream ever become true? Some of you might recollect this picture. This is the picture of a patient on biostat. This is way back in 1977. At those times, these commercially available biostators used to be regarded as the future closed loop systems. But unfortunately, these systems couldn't be replicated in the free living situations. The patients need to be admitted in the hospital. They will be on intravenous glucose, on intravenous insulin and intravenous glucose sensing. Of course, it used to be closed loop systems, but only in the in-hospital settings. What is the definition of a closed loop system? As you can see over here, there is a system, a device infusing insulin subcutaneously, continuously, and an independent glucose monitoring system. But there is a third component, which is the challenging component in the closed loop systems, and that is a control algorithm. All these systems defined as a platform for artificial intelligence communicating with each other wirelessly, automatically deciding on the doses of insulin to be infused, insulin to be reduced in the dosages or increased in the dosages or to be suspended. When will this dream come true? In my personal opinion, there are four major challenges. Number one, the insulin dosing should be fully automated. Number two, the glucose sensing should be automated and accurate. Of course, there are systems currently available for glucose monitoring, the continuous glucose monitoring, and there are even systems with a mean absolute relative difference of even 10 or even less than 10. But in type 1 diabetes, still these systems are not that accurate enough, and we need systems like the Libre, which doesn't require calibrations. We need to prevent hyper and hypo. It's not just minimizing hyper or hypo. We need to totally prevent hyperglycemia and hypoglycemia. And the fourth challenge will be with insulins. The currently available rapid acting insulins probably doesn't match with the algorithms, and we are looking forward to the launch of FIAS, for faster acting insulin aspart, which will be the insulin in the future, in the immediate future, which will be the insulin of choice in the artificial pancreatic systems or the closed loop systems. So now, where are we now? Let me share with you our own personal experiences traveling along with insulin pumps and through the first gen artificial pancreas. It is way back in 2004 in India, in Trivandrum, we launched the insulin pumps, and those were the smart insulin pumps. And in 2007 we were fortunate enough to have our patients use both with type 1 and type 2 diabetes, the sensor augmented insulin pumps. Sensor augmented insulin pumps are the real-time insulin pumps which will display the sensor interstitial glucose values, which changes once in every 5 minutes. You can see these values over the pump display screen, the continuous glucose monitoring graph, the hyper alerts, the hypo alerts, the trend and the patterns. Believe me, this is exactly 10 years back in 2007 when we started using these semi-automated or partly closed loop systems. Again in 2012, that is 5 years later, in India we saw the launch of VO insulin pumps, or the 530G, and these were very special semi-automated devices, and these were the devices for the first time where insulin got automatically suspended at the onset of a hypoglycemia. If you trace the glucose values, you can see the insulin getting suspended automatically at the onset of hypoglycemia, only to resume at the end of 2 hours. There were 2 major limitations. One limitation, the brakes are being applied only after the occurrence of an accident. We need to have systems to realize or predict hypo and stop insulin before the onset of hypo. Second challenge, irrespective of the glucose values, the system will resume insulin after 2 hours. And now one step forward. This is the overall taxonomy of an artificial pancreas design which appeared in Diabetes Care in the year 2014. This is a controller. The controller is the algorithm. It could be model predictive control or proportion integral derivative or the new fuzzy logic algorithm, which receives signals from the glucose sensors, which receives sensors from the activity sensors, the heart rate monitors, and in turn the controller will deliver either insulin alone or in combination with glucagon or plamlintide or even GLP-1 array. And this can be a closed loop system or a hybrid closed loop system where manual meal announcements will be necessary. So let me introduce to you a device which is familiar probably to most of you listening to this, viewing this video, and that is a 640G. 640G, according to those of us in Asia, is the first generation artificial pancreas. This device was not launched in the US. This was launched only in this part of the world way back in 2015. This was the news which appeared in the media when we had our first patient deploy this artificial pancreas as a 640G. What is special about first gen artificial pancreas? It comes with a smart guard technology, and this was the first device ever in the history of diabetes to have the insulin suspended before the onset of hypoglycemia. And this is one of our own patients. You can see this patient holding the device. It is different in its appearance, in its texture and its functionality compared to the previous devices, and this has replaced the conventional insulin pumps in almost closing the loop. Of course, it is not closed. And this is a download from 640G just to show you. In the upper panel, you have the glucose dynamics, and in the lower panel, the insulin dynamics. When the glucose is dropping and before it reaches the hypoglycemic threshold, as shown here, the insulin delivery gets suspended, and this suspension of insulin delivery is automatic. These red dotted lines are suspend before low, and this is a functionality of the pump talking to the sensor. And once the glucose values are back to normal, It's not duration dependent. It is dependent on the sensor glucose value. The insulin delivery gets automatically resumed. This is the Pilgrim clinical trial which has shown the superiority of predictive low glucose insulin suspension mechanism over the conventional bio-insulin pump. Look at the time spent in hypoglycemia, and that shows the clear superiority of the new 640G systems. This is a very simple picture showing the past, the present and the future of the closed loop systems. In the past we had the usual pumps and then the sensor augmented pumps, and currently we have auto suspend, we have predictive low glucose insulin suspend pumps, and the future are going to be the unihormonal, the multi-hormonal closed loop systems. What is the immediate future? The immediate future will be the hybrid closed loop systems. This is artificial pancreas and the first gen for the US. This is US FDA approved, the 670G. What is special about 670G? There is something special about 670G. In addition to the variable basal rate, in addition to minimizing the hypoglycemia, it also minimizes hyperglycemia. And this is a system with an algorithm which is designed to learn. The algorithm in the system is designed to learn the individual patient's insulin requirements based on past needs and glucose patterns. And this is a system which requires minimal input from the patient. The system requires carb counting, selecting the bolus wizard and bolusing. But the system is at large almost fully automatic during the night time, utilizing the closed loop, hybrid closed loop algorithm. This is a study which is published in Diabetes Technology and Therapeutics very recently in 2017 on the safety and effectiveness of in-home use of hybrid closed loop system. A total of 30 adolescents and 94 adults, and there is a 2-week running period where they are using the manual mode in the system, and there is a 3-month study phase when HCL control or HCL mode, the auto mode was used. Just focus on the sensor download. It's very simple. It's extremely simple. The center pink area, you can see the mean, the black line, and then the interquartile range, and at the edges you can see the gray shaded area, and these dotted lines are the mean, and these are the two phases. The gray shaded area and the dotted median are the recordings during the manual mode, and that is when the users were bolusing themselves, not using the HCL, and this pink area is when they were on an auto mode or the hybrid closed loop mode. So what were the differences? You can yourself appreciate the huge difference in the glycemic burden and the glucose variability comparing the run-in phase and the 3 months study phase. And these were the results from the nighttime use of the HCL system. The percentage time the sensor glucoses were within the normal range between 71 and 180 milligrams, comparing adolescents with adults. 67.6% versus 76.5%, statistically and clinically highly significant differences. But of course, this only tells you that we are successful up to 75% in closing the loop. The rest 30 to 35% is still remaining, and we need to have the newer systems, and this is the upcoming system, the 690G, with the advanced closed loop, that is automatic correction bolus, and this is integrating the Diamet technologies and its algorithm with the Medtronic 670G, and this is going to be the system where even the boluses are going to be automated with a combination of 670G algorithm and the MD logic algorithm from the glucose sitter original algorithm from the Diamet group, automatically providing personalized boluses for individual patients' requirements. And this is the lucky 7, those 7 individuals who participated in the feasibility inpatient study of 690G. This is going to be a clinical trial which will start recruiting subjects in the December of 2017, comparing the 2 hybrid closed loop systems, 670G with the PID algorithm and 690G with the PID algorithm along with the fuzzy logic or MD logic algorithm. And this is going to be a phenomenal development in crossing the next level in achieving closing the loop. Let me pause here and move on to another parallel innovation, and this is bionic pancreas with an emotional component. A father, an engineer Damiano, and this is his son David with type 1 diabetes, and this is his mother, a pediatrician. Way back in 2004, Damiano started experimenting on pigs. He wanted to discover something for his son with type 1 diabetes, and he later partnered with the University of Boston, with the Massachusetts Hospital at Boston, and this team has made some phenomenal discoveries on bionic pancreas, incorporating both insulin and glucagon, and they have demonstrated efficacy in outpatient clinical trials involving adults, adolescents, and even pre-adolescents. And this is the 2-day clinical trials, adults in the Beacon Health study, adolescents in the summer camp study. This is comparing the bionic pancreas with the comparator device. Look at the day and night CGM sensor glucose concentrations, the overall mean. 7.8 with bionic pancreas and 9 millimoles with the comparator. Huge difference. And this is the nighttime CGM glucose concentrations on nights 2 to 11. The overall mean is 7.4, and with the comparator it is 9.2. This is the picture of the new device. It is still the iLet, the bionic pancreas, with 2 independent housing systems, one to hold insulin and other to hold glucagon, and this is the name of the new company, the Beta Bionics. Beta denoting the presence of insulin, and alpha denoting the presence of glucagon, and O denoting the symbol of diabetes with 3 components: the continuous glucose monitoring, the insulin pump, and the third component is the algorithm. And how does it work? And this is of course the new look of the upcoming device, and the initial device will be approved by the FDA very soon, and the expected approval is only for the insulin only device first. iLet is so special because this is probably going to be the only device which requires minimal output from the patient. The patient need not even count carbohydrates, need not administer boluses. They need to just enter the body weight, and the device will essentially takes over. Unlike all the currently available devices that still require the user to count the carbohydrates, use the bolus wizard, adjust the bolus, correct the changes in the glucose levels, etc. And they also partnered with another company. Of course, you remember the earlier presentations from our group. Glucagon in the pump is a major challenge, and this is desiglucagon in the iLet pump system for use in type 1 diabetes. And this is the team of experts, the team of Beta Bionics. I like it because this is a sentimental and emotional discovery which has led on to a full automated system which even other manufacturers couldn't do till date. Automating both insulin and glucagon delivery can be initiated only just by entering the body weight and doesn't require a running period if it starts functioning immediately. Applicable for all ages, determines both basals and boluses autonomously, automatically, accounts for the outstanding insulin not only in the subcutaneous depot but also in the blood in its algorithm, and it administers micro doses of glucagon preemptively to prevent hypoglycemia, not after hypo, it is preventing the hypoglycemia. This is an overview of the future programs on artificial. Some of them are already underway, some of them such as 670G is approved by the US FDA, but I will spend a couple of seconds on this particular system, the Bigfoot Biomedical, because there is something which is going to happen in 2018. This is one company which partnered with Abbott with the Libre sensor. Libre Pro sensor is available in India since 2015, and these are the sensors which doesn't require calibration. These are factory calibrated and doesn't require a glucometer for calibration. So this prevents frequent finger pricks, and there are currently going to be 2 clinical trials, one with the insulin pump and the Libre sensor, and the other, maybe this is something, a path-breaking innovation, going to be a path-breaking innovation, that is for the multiple daily injections with insulin pens. And this pen cap has got Bluetooth enabled pen cap which will store the information from the Libre sensor. So it will have the information on the pattern of glucose and also the insulin dosages, and this history will be used for automating the dose of insulin. And this is going to be the next gen Libre sensor which is Bluetooth enabled, unlike the currently available systems. And this is going to be the system, maybe the first system which doesn't require a glucometer for calibration. Unfortunately, all the other systems, especially many other systems including the iLet, is using Dexcom sensors which require frequent finger pricks, which is the major drawback. So these cannot be regarded as really automated systems since these are still requiring the glucometer pricks. And this is the way to the complete automation, the road to closing the loop. The 2 parallel systems on the left, you have the Medtronic discoveries, the 530G, the 630G, the 640G, the 670G are on the right. The DREAMET group, the DREAM trials and the DREAM S, and culminating in 690G, where you have both the 670 algorithm and the MEMD logic algorithm. This is a group which recently visited us from Korea, and they are also working on algorithms. So there are many groups across the world working on cost-effective solutions, on cost-effective devices, on cost-effective algorithms for automating the delivery of insulin. The future is going to be really bright. For those eligible patients with type 1 diabetes and type 2 diabetes, eagerly waiting for automated devices, a dearly kept dream. Unfortunately, it will be a challenge. The cost will be a challenge for non-reimbursable markets such as India. Let us hope for the best. Thank you, dear doctors and friends, for watching this educational initiative from P. Kesavadev Trust. Bye bye from Jothyadev's Diabetes and Research Centers in Kerala. Thank you.